from the Lakeside Newsroom of the Henrico Citizen, your hometown news source since 2001. This is the Henrico News Minute with publisher Tom Lapis.
Virginia ABC sales spike during the pandemic, a COVID update for Henrico County, and here's a scam we hope you don't fall for. We'll have details about those stories and more in today's Henrico News Minute for Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. It's brought to you today by Henrico Area Mental Health.
And now for the news.
Henrico County's unemployment rate dipped just slightly in July from 8.7% in June down to 8.6%. Now, that happened even though the number of unemployed Henricoans remained almost exactly the same, according to data released yesterday by the Virginia Employment Commission. That's because Henrico's civilian labor force grew by more than 2,100 people in July, resulting in a similar increase in the number of employed county residents. A total of 166,691 Henrico residents were employed in July, while 15,761 were unemployed. That's a decrease of just 3 people from June. The county's unemployment rate was identical to the combined rate of all 9 localities that are part of the Richmond Regional Planning District Commission, and slightly lower than that of the 17-locality Richmond Metropolitan Statistical Area as a whole, which reported an 8.9% unemployment rate, the same that it had in June. By contrast, Chesterfield County's unemployment rate dipped from 7.9% in June to 7.5% in July. Hanover's dropped from 6.4% to 6%. And Richmond's increased from 11.8% in June to 12.3% in July. Statewide, the unemployment rate fell from 8.2% in June to 8% in July. Henrico reported only 19 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday. That brings the overall total to 4,670. There was one new death of someone in their 60s also reported in the county related to COVID as well. Even though the number of new cases has not increased significantly in the last week or so, the county's 7-day positivity percentage has. It's up to 9.2%. That's as of August 30th, the most recent day for which that data is available. The county has now surpassed the 80,000 mark of PCR testing encounters. That's equivalent to just shy of a quarter of Henrico's population. And the overall positivity percentage among those tests is about 5.8%. The next free COVID-19 community testing event hosted by the Henrico Health Department will take place Saturday, September 12th. It'll be at Fairfield Middle School, 5121 9 Mile Road, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. that day, with a rain date of September 14th at Diversity Richmond from 4 to 6 p.m. Call the department's COVID-19 hotline at 205-3501 between 8 and 5, Monday through Friday, to register. By a 13-8 vote yesterday, the Courts Committee of the Virginia House of Delegates advanced a bill that would implement a system of automatic expungement from a person's record for certain criminal convictions, deferred dispositions, acquittals, and offenses that have been dismissed. The Crime Commission had voted on Monday to recommend passage of the bill. House Majority Leader Charneil Herring of Alexandria, a Democrat who was the sponsor of the bill, introduced it to the committee by explaining that there's a stigma attached to people who have criminal records, and said the current system of expungement is a pick-and-choose process with no systematic way of expunging records. The proposed legislation includes expungement for nearly 175 different crimes, although it excludes violent crimes, according to Herring. Some exceptions to records being expunged or sealed include background checks for gun purchases and employment in law enforcement as an EMT at DMV or in a courtroom setting. No one from the public spoke against the bill, but several people spoke to the committee in favor of it. Les Adams, the only Republican on the Crime Commission, spoke in opposition to the bill on the grounds of a lack of data, saying that he felt the legislation was rushed in order to make it in time for the special session. The bill next will advance to the House Appropriations Committee for consideration. Well, if you get a call from someone claiming to be a Henrico Police official telling you that your Social Security number has been linked to drug trafficking and money laundering, it's a scam. Henrico Police are warning residents of the county not to fall for the scam that involves a call from an 804 area code with a 501 prefix, which may seem legitimate since that's used by county government officials and the police department. Some fraud victims have suffered a financial loss as part of the scam, in which the suspect makes a call requesting victims to remove all their money from their bank accounts so that funds will not be tied up in any criminal investigation. Sometimes victims are asked to use gift cards or cryptocurrency to transfer their money. The suspected representative claims a local law enforcement agency member will then contact them to receive the funds for safekeeping or transfer money. But as you may suspect, Henrico Police will never ask to transfer money on your behalf or demand any payments from you or require any payment by cash, gift card, wire transfer, or prepaid cards. Police advise you to work with your bank to make sure you have increased safety measures on all accounts. If you have suffered a financial loss through this scam or another, contact Henrico Police at 501-5000. You may also report Social Security scams online at oig.ssa.gov. Well, despite the pandemic, or maybe in part because of it, Virginia ABC stores had a banner year in fiscal year 2020, which ended June 30th. The ABC showed a gross revenue of $1.2 billion. That's up $117 million from fiscal year 2019. The agency's earnings of $545.3 million represented an increase of nearly $46 million from the previous year. The agency remits those earnings to the state. The most recent earnings amounted to $251 million in retail taxes, $212 million in profits from sales, and about $82 million in wine and beer taxes. And if you're wondering what the most popular items sold in those ABC stores were, we've got that top 5 list for you. Number 1 was Tito's Handmade Domestic Vodka. Number 2, Hennessy VS Cognac. Number 3, Jack Daniel's 7 Black Tennessee Whiskey. Number 4, Jim Beam Straight Bourbon. And number 5, Patron Silver Tequila.
Every 12 minutes, a Virginian dies from an opioid overdose.
Every 12 minutes.
Opioid overdoses are on the increase in Henrico. Yes, the opioid epidemic is still impacting residents in Henrico.
But you can help.
To find out what you can do, go to bouncebackhc.com.
That's bouncebackhc.com. Knowledge is power, including learning about naloxone. That's naloxone, which can temporarily reverse the toxic effects of an opioid or heroin overdose.
Get informed, get help, save a life.
Go to bouncebackhc.com. That's bouncebackhc.com.
To equip yourself with the knowledge to help our residents and the community of Henrico County against the opioid epidemic.
Knowing what to do will allow you to be prepared to save a life. Go to bouncebackhc.com today.
That's bouncebackhc.com or call 804-727-8515.
That's 804-727-8515. Directly for substance abuse services.
This message is sponsored by Henrico Area CSB Prevention Services.